Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GAW Wednesday Night Storm. We are 3 episodes from Nitro 10, the biggest show of the year. Every wrestler in the company is preparing for that massive event, and that includes the Gorillas of Destiny, the GAW Tag Team Champions. They got busy last week. We'll show you some pictures here. Last episode, Kenny Omega and Aleister Black teamed up to take on the former Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers. Well, the Luchas didn't look quite right throughout the match, and this is why. Backstage photos have emerged of GOD attacking the Lucha Brothers backstage, and apparently that really affected the former champs going up against the two men that will main event Nitro, and it's not going to get any easier for Rey Fenix and Pentagon as they are forced to go against the long-time GAW Tag Team Champions, the Usos, the team that the Luchas took the belts off of. That match is coming up right now. As you can tell, there is still a whole lot of love for Jimmy and Jey Uso, former tag team champions. Two men that maybe have a better claim to the titles they are hoping to challenge for than anyone besides Aleister Black, because of the way in which they lost them. They were embroiled in a long rivalry with the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Pentagon, and it ended with a steel cell match at GAW Tidal Wave, which Alpha involved himself in, removed the cell and removed Jimmy Uso from the match, made it a 2-on-1 handicap. So now, with tornado rules in effect, the Usos will really get to take their revenge on the team that took their titles. 20-minute time limit, 1 fall, no countouts, pinfall or submission must happen inside the ring. Those are the only rules here for what promises to be an incredibly intense match for as long as we get it. These two teams have been warring for months, and maybe, hopefully, this match will represent a closing chapter in one of the more brutal rivalries we've seen in GAW since Nitro 9. Jey Uso immediately trying to put on the Tequila Sunrise, but Rey Fenix has his head up. Both Usos on top here, but the corkscrew forearm countered by Pentagon. Pentagon now waiting for Jey Uso to get to his feet. Jey Uso catches boot to the gut. Dragon screw leg whip into the corner. That can't feel good. Jimmy Uso now with a beautiful single-armed snapmare, and now Jimmy Uso uses it to transition into a Tequila Sunrise. Second one we've seen put on of the match. But Rey Fenix, it was a little early in the match for that. Rey Fenix was able to roll over and dislodge himself. Little malfunction at the junction there from the Lucha Brothers, and it leads to a sit-out Falcon Arrow by Jey Uso. Rey Fenix now tosses Jimmy out of the ring. Rey Fenix takes aim and a sliding drop kick underneath the ropes. And now Jey Uso will answer with a big-time move of his own. Jey Uso heading up top. He's about to take Pentagon for a ride. Superplex to the outside. God, we got to give that name a move. It feels like the Usos do it once a match. Jimmy Uso now climbing up to the corner on the far side. Uso splash, nobody home. And now Rey Fenix takes his turn going up top, but he miscalculated there. Jimmy Uso able to get him to sit down. Rey Fenix able to get his way off the top rope, and now hoists up Jimmy Uso to the top. Jey with a big uppercut, and Rey Fenix looking for the Blackfire driver, but Jimmy Uso able to escape. Well done from Jimmy Uso, recognizing the danger of the Blackfire driver. One of the most dangerous moves in wrestling. Jimmy Uso going up top as Penta and Jey battle. Jimmy Uso with the Uso splash. He gets that one to land, and now Jimmy Uso going for the cover. Pentagon is able to break it up before Rey Fenix could say anything about it. Jimmy Uso pulls Pentagon back into a DDT. Oh, that is pretty. I love the way the Usos do their DDTs, I gotta be honest. I love the way the Usos do everything. They rival God as maybe the most versatile team in the world. They do everything well. Meanwhile, the Lucha Brothers here, not to say they don't do everything well, but of course they are progenitors of the Lucha Libre style and one of the most influential teams in history. Uso splash from Jay, but Rey Fenix got the knees up. The Lucha Brothers, I think, belong on some kind of Mount Rushmore because of how many American fans they've introduced to Lucha Libre style. And to me, they belong right up there with guys like Rey Fenix, Eddie Guerrero, Chavo Guerrero, guys that really introduced the American audience to Lucha Libre and its unique stylings, and have really gotten so many Americans involved with promotions like AAA, CMLL, Mexican promotions like that. I think it's amazing. Rey Fenix and Jimmy Uso stacked up in the corner as Jay and Pentagon battle in the center of the ring. It'll be whichever man over in the corner can recover first as Jay Uso stalks his prey. Jay Uso, super kick lands. Jay Uso plants the super kick right between the eyes. Jimmy Uso holding Rey Fenix back, and the Usos grab themselves a win. Jimmy Uso actually held Rey Fenix back in the corner and prevented Rey from breaking up that pinfall. And you gotta think that the Usos now have a one-way ticket to Nitro where they will almost certainly meet the Gorillas of Destiny. A dream match that we have been salivating over for years, seemingly since the beginning of both teams' careers. And the Usos, the most badass, the most dangerous team in GAW for so long, could be heading to Nitro where really they belong. Coming up next, Bobby Lashley defends the Intercontinental Championship.
I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow you will get your pay, and it's time.
Hey, it's great to see Edward Jack back in action. He's been battling injury pretty much since he signed with GAW. Of course, he was a big-time acquisition, former IWGP Intercontinental Champion. We were really, really excited to have him. He debuted at Bash at the Beach in the Rumble on the Beach, and ever since then, he's been battling periodic injuries. He was able to compete in the GAW Classic, but he finished with an 0-3 record there. So now he is getting quite the opportunity against Bobby Lashley, and this is, of course, how we saw Kofi Kingston begin his much beloved reign, was beating the Intercontinental Champion sort of in an impromptu match. So can Edward Jack do the same? This is quite a man to ask Edward Jack to compete against when he is seeming, hopefully, fully healthy for the first time in a few months. Bobby Lashley represents one of the most intimidating forces in wrestling right now. Of course, a background in multiple different wrestling companies. He famously held all the gold in Impact Wrestling. He's a former MMA competitor over in Bellator, and now he has Conor McGregor backing him as well. This is a dangerous combination, but Edward Jack will look to fight it off in pursuit of his first GAW title. Well, it may not be on the level of Will Ospreay or Ronda Rousey, when it comes to the number of title defenses that Bobby Lashley has had, but you do have to respect Lashley for putting his belt on the line in a situation like this, an opponent that he hasn't had a lot of time to prepare for. And this match starting off with some really nice looking chain wrestling here. Not something that we've come to expect out of these two men. But both men have been in the wrestling game for a long, long time. And now Lashley showcasing a little bit of the strength, collar and elbow, and he just tosses Jack away. Another collar and elbow tie-up leads to a side headlock from Jack, and now look at this. Nice judo toss from Edward Jack into the front chancery. Jack stands him up into a suplex. Beautifully done by the Pirate King. It is all Edward Jack so far, and he needs it to stay that way. Sit out Falcon Arrow, but Conor McGregor has taken this opportunity to get Bobby Lashley back into the match, and Lashley with a torture rack backbreaker, and now Lashley firing away with the right hands. I do want to mention as well, you know, this Intercontinental Championship match taking place in the middle of this show. Snap suplex into a cover here by Lashley. Kick out at 1 from Jack. This is taking place in the middle of this show. And, you know, we've been conditioned to expect as wrestling fans that, you know, championships just aren't defended that much. Most other promotions, they don't have a lot of championship matches. And GAW has always been different. And I think it goes back to the background of general admission wrestling. So many people here come from a traditional sports background. You know, of course, the men that were most influential in founding GAW, Booker T, Goldberg, Scott Steiner, you know, well, hang on. Conor McGregor putting his hands on a competitor here. Referee, we got to take a look at this. You're not allowed to do that. McGregor once again getting involved. Referee, what are we doing here? Allows Lashley to take the advantage with a suplex. But so anyway, like I'm saying, these three men that were so influential in starting GAW, you know, they had some bad experiences, of course, in the late 90s, early 2000s. They wanted a product that was different. And so, you know, this is what we got. And so we take a lot of pride in having people know who our champions are. They put their belts on the line a lot. It's much like traditional sports and MMA. You know, the championships are on the line a whole lot. And that's what you can come to expect here in GAW. And so Bobby Lashley joins a long line of champions willing to fight for their titles on weekly programming. Maybe not even in main events. And Bobby Lashley now putting himself in the long line of incredibly strong and powerful wrestlers with a stalling vertical suplex. Conor McGregor loving it in his corner, and Bobby Lashley goes for the cover. Lashley leg hooked, and Jack kicks out. Oh, DDT from Edward Jack as Lashley was trying to consolidate his offense, but Conor McGregor gets involved, and it allows Lashley to hit an overhead German suplex with the release, and now Lashley from the corner. Lashley taking aim. Lashley missed his target. Hurdle over the spear from Edward Jack, who now whips Lashley back into the corner. Lashley gets the feet up, but Jack jumps the rope and a Gamengiri. Lashley staggers to his feet. Jack trying to keep his advantage with the raining down the right hands, but Lashley able to play defense here. Jack, boot to the gut DDT. He must have learned that from the Usos. Lashley comes right back into it with that power. Back body drop, but Edward Jack using a little bit of the speed. Some quick kicks, just trying to take out the base of the much bigger man. And again, Lashley makes the mistake of putting his boots up, and Jack hits him with a Gamengiri. Lashley just trying to get away from the onslaught of offense here. Sidewalk slam counter with a knee by the champ. Lashley trying to stay on top. Military press into a power slam. Lashley may have some heat with Scott Danielson down in the GAW Academy. Check out Stormchaser every Wednesday. Lashley going for the cover, and Bobby Lashley retains the IC title. I was too busy telling you about former GAW Academy champ Scott Danielson. Meanwhile, Bobby Lashley with a military press into a power slam. And that puts away the plucky challenger, Edward Jack, who certainly made a good name for himself in this match, but eventually when you're in a 2-on-1 scenario, as Jack was for so much of this contest, it's hard to fight out of, and this was it. Lashley, military press into a power slam. Just one of the myriad of exceptionally powerful moves that Bobby Lashley can pull out, and at the end of the day, the work done on the back of Edward Jack proved to be too much for the challenger. Bobby Lashley retains the IC title. Who can beat this man? That's a question that many of us will have going forward.
Bobby Lashley, they call you the Dominator. But what kind of Dominator needs someone in his corner to do his dirty work? That's what I've been asking myself since Tidal Wave. And at Nitro 10, we'll find out how dominant you are without anyone's help. You didn't think you would get away from me that quickly by sending your goon after me. I beat him at his own game, and now I'm coming to beat you in your own game. At Nitro 10 for my Intercontinental Championship in a steel cage. Accept the challenge, Bobby. That would be the dominant thing to do.
Oh, bask in his glory.
For he is limitless.
Wow, folks, so much that we need to get to over the course of the next two matches, and of course we will get to the emotionally charged rivalry that we are about to see inside the ring. But first, I am very, very pleased to announce to you the first match confirmed, other than, of course, the main event for Nitro 10, will be a rematch between the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, and the Intercontinental Champion, Bobby Lashley. That match was confirmed after Ospreay just called out Lashley. You saw him backstage. And man, if the first match is any indication, that one will be one to remember, I am sure. Oh, look at this. This is a new look for Matt Riddle. For so much of his career, he went by the original Bro, but apparently that is over now. You can see actually on his left leg, right on his thigh, it looks like the only discernible text that we can see anywhere on his gear is a logo for his gym in Las Vegas. So this is a guy who is very much leaning into his UFC background, but he will have to break a little bit out of his comfort zone in this no disqualification match. You know, for so long, Matt Riddle had been known as the barefoot competitor, and now he's got some boots on, and on top of that, he's got those knee pads that look really interesting. What's on top of those? It doesn't look like the usual kind of mesh that you see. Might be something a little harder. I certainly hope that Keith Lee does not have to find out. Third kick, and Matt Riddle clotheslines him into the corner. This is the first time that these two have met in the ring since Matt Riddle turned his back on Keith Lee to join Alpha. He attacked Lee during a match, and they were supposed to have a match back at Tidal Wave, but Matt Riddle attacked Lee before that match as well, and so he got it thrown out, and now they meet in no disqualification action, and Keith Lee has already said that he has put his friendship with Riddle behind them, and he is now ready to kick Riddle's ass in the ring. Well, that is something that's much easier said than done, given Riddle's background and now an overhead belly-to-belly. And Matt Riddle keeping up the pace. Riddle lands some stomps into the exposed chest of Keith Lee, and now Matt Riddle will go for the first cover. Keith Lee with an easy kick out. I hope Riddle won't introduce Keith Lee to those knee pads. Riddle rolls out of the ring. Keith Lee trying to do a little taunting. Riddle follows him back in. Irish whip off the rope, and Riddle does introduce Lee to those knee pads. I hope they're pads for Keith Lee's sake. Lee's got the strength advantage here, and he shows it. Vertical suplex onto Riddle. This is genuinely an interesting prospect here, this match. You know, with the emotions that are present in this rivalry and the degree to which both men know each other, you really have no idea which way this one is going to go. And you really wonder if one match will be enough to settle it between these two. I don't know. But either way, this, you know, there are matches and there are championship matches. You know, like we've seen, we just saw Bobby Lashley retain his title against Edward Jack. But then there are matches like this that almost transcend all of that. And now Riddle into the fireman's carry. Riddle! Oh my goodness! Riddle lays Keith Lee out with a knee to the face on the go to sleep. No! Riddle hits the go to sleep, but Keith Lee somehow powers out of the cover at 2.9, and Riddle again lays out Keith Lee with the knee, and now Matt Riddle going for the first submission of the match. Matt Riddle with a cross arm breaker, and you can see he's got those legs crisscrossed across Lee's chest. It makes it so difficult to be able to get your bearings, but Keith Lee does. Able to roll it over, but Matt Riddle comes back, tosses him into the corner. Riddle with a couple knees to the back. Goes for the stomp. Keith Lee rolls out of the ring. No weapons yet used by either man. Lee could have Riddle in trouble here as Lee hoists him up. Lee with a spirit bomb. Lee going for the cover. No, Matt Riddle. Both men have kicked out of gigantic moves here in this match. That just goes to show you the bragging rights like I was talking about. This is a match that above all else you don't want to lose. This will affect you mentally to lose a match like this, even if it's not the last match we see between these men, which it may well not be. But Keith Lee could be going for it again. Lee hoists Riddle up, spirit bomb number 2. But Lee doesn't go for the cover. Lee actually got up, rolls Matt Riddle over. Riddle's hand right underneath the ropes, but Keith Lee gets the win. Earlier in this show, I complimented our referees on their eagle-eyed vision when it comes to spotting those rope breaks, and yet Matt Riddle, in my opinion, clearly had his hand underneath the bottom rope, and the referee didn't see it. And if there was anything that this rivalry needs at this point, it's more controversy. But that's what we're gonna get. Matt Riddle kicked out of one spirit bomb, replying in kind to Keith Lee kicking out of the go to sleep. And look at this, here comes spirit bomb number 2, and you can see, I think this is a solid angle for it as Keith Lee released Matt Riddle and then goes to roll him over, and you will see Matt Riddle's right hand, look at that, clearly underneath the bottom rope. And it was missed by the referee. Wow. Wow, if there was anything else that this match needed. And Matt Riddle comes right back in to attack Keith Lee. You had to expect that. You certainly did with the toxicity that has been present in this rivalry ever since the beginning. I certainly don't think this is the end of it. Folks, we are getting some referees out here to separate these two, but we have to go backstage. We have been told that Edward Jack, after his match with Bobby Lashley, he is backstage with someone that I can't really recognize. We're seeing security footage, and so it's not a great look here, a little grainy, but
I can't really tell who this is. It seems to be just a conversation. Doesn't seem to be any kind of violence going on here, but it's very hard to say what's happening, so we'll have to keep an eye on who this mysterious figure might be. Folks, in our main event, world champion Asuka is in action. It's a pretty crowded field right now when it comes to the Women's World Championship. We know that the hottest young rookie in GAW, Caitlin Dunlap, has stated her intentions that she is coming after Asuka. Dunlap got a shocking win over Asuka a few episodes ago here on Wednesday Night Storm. But of course, Dunlap still embroiled in the Stormchaser tournament, which has now moved on to the knockout stages. Those will begin very soon. If you're not watching Stormchaser every week, you need to be. That is an absolutely tremendous program that we are putting on. And by the way, for those of you that do watch Stormchaser, it will be airing on a special day next week due to Christmas. So GAW Wednesday Night Storm will be airing on Monday as usual. Stormchaser will be airing on Tuesday. And then the go-home show for Nitro 10, Wednesday Night Storm, will be airing Wednesday, December 23rd. You can catch up on all your GAW before Christmas Eve. Well, this will be Asuka's return to the ring after that shocking loss to Caitlin Dunlap. And it wasn't really talked about much at the time, and that was my fault. But we need to talk about how just a couple days prior, Asuka had been attacked by Caitlin Dunlap when Asuka appeared on GAW Academy Stormchaser. There's that tournament again that you should absolutely be watching. Dunlap attacked her, and that might be a big reason why Asuka has not shown up very much. But Dunlap is not the only challenger that she has to worry about, of course. Asuka also has to worry about Dakota Kai, who has stated her intentions to fight for the GAW Women's World Championship. And in terms of the emotional sense, people want to see Dakota Kai lose to Asuka, myself included. So Asuka's got herself a lot of challengers. Could she have one more? Well, that'll depend on what happens in this main event match with Bianca Belair. Belair's had a rough go of it. She's 1-5 since Nitro 9, but you know, all of that can change in an instant. We talked about it with Edward Jack as well, and it could all change. Asuka. Dakota Kai. This is a new look here for Dakota Kai. Look at this. Kai into the ring. Oh my God. Dakota Kai hits the chiropractor on Asuka. Referee's thrown the match out. Dakota Kai jaw-jacking with Asuka. Bianca Belair has rolled out of the ring as she should. Dakota Kai is taking it to Asuka. And unfortunately, there's just nothing the referee can do at this point. Unbelievable that this is what's happening. Kai Irish whips Asuka off. This is a much different side to Dakota Kai than what we have seen before. And now Dakota Kai, oh my God. Kai's got a sledgehammer. Dakota Kai stalking her prey with that sledgehammer. Now Kai back into the ring. Kai. Asuka just making her way to her feet. Come on, Dakota, don't do this. No! Sledgehammer to the lower back. And again to the knee. And again. One more. Kai. Oh no! Multiple shots to the knee. Dakota Kai admiring her handiwork as Asuka. Kai has absolutely laid waste to Asuka now. Kai now Irish whips her off the ropes, lets Asuka run, and Kai Irish whips her over, or clotheslines her over, I should say. Oh, this is unbelievable. Somebody has to come out here and stop the vicious attack. Super kick from Kai. And again, jawing with Asuka as the women's world champion lies lifeless here. Kai tosses her in. This is some of the most disgusting, despicable action that I've seen. At least before, Dakota Kai had the veneer of playing fair. She said it. She said that she wants to play fair, and she may not have been right, but she at least had the indecency. And now Kai comes off the ropes. Chiropractor again. At the very least, Dakota Kai pretended that she was playing fair in this game. Well, now Dakota Kai has become something completely different. And Kai setting up for it again. The women's world champion in serious trouble. Kai comes off. Dakota Kai, chiropractor again. This is disgusting, what we are seeing. And unfortunately, this must transition into the announcement that we were waiting to make throughout that match, originally between Asuka and Bianca Belair. Folks, it is official. At Nitro 10, we will see, for the first time ever, 2-match turmoil. That's right, a gauntlet-style match featuring Dakota Kai, Caitlin Dunlap, and the women's world champion, Asuka. One woman will face Asuka first, and then the other woman will face Asuka later on in the show. It'll be the first time that we've ever seen a match like that at Nitro 10, and I hate to announce it under these circumstances, but unfortunately, this is the hand that we were dealt by the shocking development here involving Dakota Kai. Folks, make sure you subscribe. There is a whole lot left when either in the GAW Academy or here on Wednesday Night Storm. As I mentioned, we've got a special schedule next week due to Christmas. Due to the holidays, on Monday we will air Wednesday Night Storm as normal. On Tuesday will be a special presentation of GAW Academy Stormchaser, the final one before the knockout tournament begins. And then on Wednesday will be a special presentation of GAW Wednesday Night Storm. That'll be the last show before the biggest night of the year, Nitro 10. You will not want to miss any of it. So please, subscribe. We appreciate you.